I recently shared a post, and the post says, fear has two meanings. One, forget everything and run, or two, face everything and rise. Ultimately, the choice is yours. And in this podcast today, I'm going to share with you 10 rules for rising. So don't go anywhere, and I want you to listen to the podcast and learn how to rise. I've gone through something that has caused you pain or caused you dysfunction. I don't know what it is. It's like an injury, right, to your soul. Your soul is made up of your mind, your wills, emotion, your character, your memories, your conscience. And so what happens is we get a wound. I call these a heart wound. We get a heart wound, and then we can't function properly, and we're wondering why we're looking around our world and there's so much dysfunction. Well, maybe, just maybe, I often have heard this, that our life is a mirror of what's happening on the inside of us. So maybe we've got an injury on the inside of us, or a heart wound that just needs to be looked at. So in all of my stuff that I do to help people come into emotional freedom and healing is, first of all, you need to get your heart healed. All right, so that's step number one. Before any of this right now, before you can rise into anything or become the person that you really are, you need to get your heart healed. All right, so if you feel like you've got a heart wound and you're leaving it, all it's doing is festering, and it will probably be causing you dysfunction in your world, in various areas of your world. Okay, so number one, get your heart healed. And then number two, you go into these 10 rules for rising. Okay, number one, I believe that we are created beings, right? That's my faith. You all know this. I have a strong faith in God. I'm a spiritual woman, and I believe that we are created beings, all right? So therefore, if we are created, then we can create. Okay, so we only have to look around the whole of this planet and see creation everywhere. Like, let's have a look at the Mona Lisa, or the Taj Mahal. Okay, these amazing creations in this world all started in the mind. All right, so my number one rule for rising for you today into success, whatever that success looks like for you, is the vision for your life starts in your mind. And so if you are kind of floating around this planet with no mission, no vision, no purpose, and no meaning, guess what? That's what you're going to get. All right, so number one rule is you must create a vision for your life. And so for me, in my world, I pray, I seek God, and I ask Him, what is the vision for my life? And I co-create with God. I co-create my vision. I co-create, what it is my purpose is. Who am I helping? Who do I serve? How do I do that? And as I, ask those questions, guess what? The answers come, and I end up getting a vision for my life so that I can focus on it. Now, if you think, oh, Dawn, I don't have a faith, I don't believe in God, that's fine, that's okay. But if you were to look at some of the most successful people in this world, the ones that have achieved greatness in any area, whether it's financial or charity, giving, creating, cures for diseases, it all started in their mind. They all got a vision for it. And then out of that vision, they created. I think I've said this in a podcast before. The guy, Tesla, the guy who invented Tesla, he was a crazy visionary. And I did some research on him, and the power of visualization is incredible. There's so much scientific evidence to back this up now, that if you see it in your mind, you can create it. Okay, so it starts in the mind, and then that creation can manifest itself in the real world. You guys probably know this stuff, but what happens is we forget to get a vision for ourselves and for our life. As you can hear, I am puffing because I am going up a hill. So forgive me for the puffing, okay? But I'm super passionate about you having a vision for your life, all right? Because when you're broken and you've got a heart wound, you can't see where your future's going. You can't see who you are. It's like you get blinded to the truth of who you are and what the calling and the purpose is for your life. And so my number one thing is really understanding the power of vision and the power of the vision of how you see yourself and what you see yourself doing. So what I want you to do, my challenge in number one is that I want you to create some quiet time, put some music on that makes you feel relaxed. And I just want you to start to, if you've got a faith, ask God to give you the vision, give you a vision for your life, especially if you're feeling that you have no purpose and life has no meaning. We need to get that back. And as you focus on it, as you know, what you focus on expands. And so I'm believing that as you do this, you are going to get a vision for your life, which will give you excitement, encouragement, meaning, purpose. And trust me, the journey is so exciting when your whole world is not about, you're not obsessed with yourself, but you're obsessed with others, your purpose, your calling. So number one is you need to get a vision of who you are and what you're called to do and who you're serving. Okay, number two is you need to understand your mindset, all right? So it's all very well having a vision for your life and seeing who you are and what you're called to be and who you're called to serve. But the second thing is you need to understand your mindset. Now, I teach a lot about mindsets, and you need to understand, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Fixed mindset is kind of like I can't, and a growth mindset is kind of one that says I can, all right? They see possibility. When you've got a fixed mindset, you say I can't, I'm not good enough. There's usually unworthiness, and then underneath all the unworthiness there is a fear. The fear would be I'm not good enough, okay? I can't, I'm not good, I just haven't got what it takes, I can't do it. Whereas a growth mindset will say, you know what? I can, because I will learn and grow even if I make mistakes. I am not a result of my mistakes. I am not my mistakes. I make mistakes, or I make mistakes in a project and I might fail, but I don't have any fear of criticism, and I will learn and grow, and I will be okay regardless, okay? But if we have fear, if we have a fixed mindset underpinned by, driven or motivated by fear, we will be afraid of criticism and judgment, and we will stay hidden in the fixed mindset as opposed to growing and going and being okay with making mistakes, being okay. Look, people will judge you no matter what. People have their own map of the world and how they see people and see situations, and they have their own filters. I've talked about this before in my podcast. RAS, which is a reticular activating system, which is it's a neurological pathway in which information is filtered into our mind. I often call that the map of the world. Okay, so we all have our own map of the world and the filter system in which we see life. Now, often what we will do is we will project out of that map. We will project onto others what we believe we are seeing, thinking, feeling from these people. And often, if we have fear underlining our map, we will see them through fear, we will see them through intimidation, or we will see them through an opinion, and we will then drop into judgment of them, and we believe something that may not be true. Okay, so that's a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset goes, I will try, and even if I fail, it doesn't matter. I will take something with me. I will take a piece of wisdom with me, and I will step into whatever it is fearlessly, knowing that my identity is not attached to my failure, but it's attached to me growing out of this scenario. All right, so my number two thing is you need to ask yourself, which mindset are you? Are you the one that is fearlessly ready to step into something, learn and grow? Are you the one that is underpinned or motivated by fear that goes, no, I can't do it. I have to stay hidden. I'm not going to attempt to do anything that's different, or I'm not going to attempt change, because what if I fail? If I fail, I'll look silly, and if I look silly, people will judge me, and if people judge me, it means that they'll criticize me, and if they criticize me, it means I am not worthy and I am not good enough, all right? Because I know that some of the biggest fears that we have is that we are not good enough. Number 3 is you need to understand cause and effect. All right, if I dropped a seed in the ocean or in a lake, if I dropped a stone, I should say, if I dropped a stone in the lake, that is going to cause a ripple effect, all right? So cause and effect, it's pretty much, you need to understand the cause and effect. All right, so if I was to say an effect is I have a dysfunctional relationship with one of my children, or a work colleague, well, there's something, that's the effect. The effect is there's something negative going on. I have a problem with a colleague, or I have a problem with a sibling or a child. Okay, so that's the effect. And then you've got to go back and go, well, what's causing this? And to understand the situation, you've got to find the cause, the root cause of your situation. Now, I'm not saying that you're responsible for the cause, but if the result you're getting, the effect is causing you emotional upset, you're not going to be able to rise. So when I often say, seek first to understand before be understood. So it is better for you to understand and step out of the scenario, come from a higher perspective to have a look in and go, well, what is causing this? Okay, and the effect is negative and it's causing me dysfunction. So what I got to look at is what's causing that. And often I do this exercise with many of my corporate teams because they're working in a toxic team environment. And I sit them down and I bring them into self-awareness of go, okay, well, what's causing this? And then my next question is, and to you guys listening to this, okay, so what's causing this? And am I responsible for this effect? Am I the stone? So the cause is the stone, the ripple in the ocean is the effect, all right? But it's the stone that causes the effect. So you've got to ask yourself, where am I dropping in this stone? Is this going to be a positive effect or a negative one? Because either way, that's what you're going to get. The choice is yours. So you need to look at what you need to take personal responsibility for. What have I done? What actions have I done? What have I said? What behavior have I done? What actions have I done to contribute to this effect? And all I'm doing here, this is not like a blame game or anything, is all I'm doing here is, one, I want to bring you into self-awareness. I want to ask you the question, how well are you managing yourself? And number 3 is, what are you personally responsible for causing? And if there are some stuff that you know, I've put in a negative stone or a negative seed into this, and now I've got a weed or a bush, or I've got a tidal wave, it's like, okay, now you need to clean up. You need to take responsibility for yourself. You might need to apologize to someone. You might need to, make some adjustments with your own attitude. If you've got a negative attitude and you come into a scenario with a negative attitude or a judgment attitude, guess what? You're gonna get dysfunction. You are going to get dysfunction in whatever scenario is. But when you come into awareness, you have a choice. Everybody has a choice. Just like I said, you have a choice to, fear and run, or you have a choice to fear and rise. And when you taking personal responsibility for yourself, your words, your actions, your beliefs, everything, you will understand the cause and effect of your behavior. And am I ineffective, which means I'm causing more dysfunction, or am I effective, which means I'm causing the solution? I'm part of the solution, not the problem. Okay, so there we have it. That's number 3. Okay, number 4. Now I'm thinking, I'm already, we're only at number 4 and we're 15 minutes into this podcast. So I'm thinking I'm going to split this into 2 podcasts. I'm going to do 1 to 5 here. And then the next podcast, I'm going to do 5 to 10 on this topic because I'm going a lot deeper than what I thought I was going to go. And maybe it's the walking, and maybe, when you're walking and you're exercising, it's like I'm getting a download and it's just flowing out into this podcast. So I really want you to capture everything that's coming out and apply this to your life. So number 4 is, we've talked about number 1, which is creation. You're creating what you want, creating who you are, co-creating with God. But number 4 is more about seeing the future you want. All right, so it is visualization. It really is honing in on visualization. And you're like, oh gosh, Dawn, I don't know how to do that. Well, the thing is, you need to know that you are in charge of your body. You are in control. No one. The only thing you're in control of is you. You can only influence people. The moment you step out of trying to, out of influencing people to trying to control them, you're in danger territory, and that's a whole nother topic. That's called circles of control, and that's a whole nother topic, and maybe I'll roll that out in the next couple of podcasts so you can understand how that works. But right now, my question is how well are you managing you? And you manage your spirit. You're in control of your spirit. What's happening in your spiritual life? You control what's happening in your mind and your emotions. It's basically how you think, is how you feel, and then you control your body. It's like, if you're feeling lazy and tired, you have to tell your body to get up. And I heard, I was at this conference once, and this woman was talking about how she was quite depressed, and she was saying that in the morning she just couldn't get out of bed. She was like, it was all too hard. And I know I've had seasons of being in depression myself, and it's tough. It is tough because everything you feel, your body, your emotions, everything just does not want to move. It doesn't want to. You are demotivated. There's no fire on the inside. It's just dead. It's like, I just can't be bothered. This is too hard. Anyway, so she was telling us this story about this. And I'm like, yep, I can identify with that, totally. But I loved how she overcame it because, and this is really going to, validate the point that I'm trying to make to you, is you are in control of yourself. You're in control of your mind. You're in control of your emotions. You're in control of your body, okay? And she said that one day she kind of got this revelation that she could command her body to do what she wanted to do. So you know the answers, you know what to do, but it's finding that fuel, that motivation to do it. And so words, I'm a big believer that our words can create, our words can create and they can manifest things in our world. So as we speak it, we create it. As we create it, we manifest it. It's released in the spirit first, and then it will manifest itself into your world. And so she basically decided that she was going to command her body to get up. And what she would do, she would lie there, open her eyes, and the first thing would happen, the thoughts would come. It's all too hard. It's easier to stay in bed. Why get up? Why bother? And she would recognize that those thoughts were controlling her body. And so she decided she needed to change her thoughts. So she would say, body, she would speak to it, body, you are going to get up, you're going to have breakfast, you're going to have a shower, and you're going to have a great day. And did she believe it? No. But what she did was command her body to get out of its depression, to get out of whatever funk it was in, and get up and do something. And look, this is like a habit that you've got to create. This is something that you have to, it's not like you do it once and it's like, you've won. It's like, no, you've got to command your body to rise. And trust me, there's a whole science behind this, is that your body will respond. If you tell your body what to do, it will respond. I've tried this, I've tested it. I've had many of my clients who I've given this key to, and it works. You must command your body. Otherwise, if you don't, your body will command you. your body will tell you what it wants to do, which means now the body is controlling the mind, and the mind is not controlling the body. I've kind of gone off topic here because it was about visualization, but we've kind of gone into the body. You need to command the body to rise. So, and you need, okay, here's my point. I've got back on my thread. My point is that you might say to me, oh, Dawn, I don't know how to visualize. I don't know how to do that. Well, I kind of mentioned it in the number one was about creating that space, put some music on, okay? And so with this command your body key, what I'm saying to you is when you put the music on, your mind will automatically start to go in every other direction bar you visualizing what you want to create in your world. It will find every little thought away from what you want to focus on. So the key is to command your mind. It's like, no, you will focus on, let's say, I don't know, just for argument's sake, you want to you want to get a new car and you want to visualize a new car. That's not for everybody. Everybody's got a different need and a different one. So basically you would focus on what you wanted. So you would start to get your mind upon a vehicle. You would see the color, you would see the number plate, and you would start to look at details. And then as you drifted off into thinking about other things, because that's exactly what your mind will do, you command it back, come back, keep looking at what you want, which is, the white car with the number plate. Start to look at the interior. Is it leather? What does the dashboard look like? Has it got has it got a sunroof? Start to look at details. And as you practice this, your mind will obey you more, and you will be able to control where your mind goes. Now, this takes something. When I've studied hugely successful and happy people, so not just successful, but they're happy as well, because I know a lot of people who are successful who've got all the money in the world but are desperately unhappy. All right. So the key is, to be successful, but also be very happy and to be serving and giving to others. So these types of people, they have mastered how to control their mind, which means they control their thinking, they can control their emotions. Now, I call this emotional intelligence, because you're learning how to master yourself. You're learning how to control yourself, and not one to be controlled by others, but also allowing your body to control how you feel, because your mind can control you how you feel. And so the key number 4 for you guys is visualize what you want, but command your mind. Whoop, big motorbike just passed, but command your mind to keep focusing, because ultimately your mind will want to drift off into other areas, but it's important that you learn how to get your mind to focus. And it's like a muscle, right? The more you train it, the stronger it'll become. And it's like that with visualizing, what you want and who you want to be in the world. Is you need to master that and control it, and not have it do its own thing. All right, and the last rule for rising in this particular podcast is number 5, is you need to invest in yourself. Right, however, let me tell you what happens about investing in yourself. When we have a heart wound, or when we are broken, when we've come under pain and trauma or abuse, anything like that, okay, we have low self-esteem, which means low self-value and low self-worth. We don't believe we're worthy. And so I've had this, right, where I knew in order for me to get to the next step in my life, I had to invest money into myself. Now, I was at that, I'd be happy to invest it into others and other people. That, I was happy to give it away, but purely what was happening was I didn't think I was valuable enough or worthy enough to be equipped to get the skills and the tools and the knowledge and the wisdom to go to the next level. And so there was a point in my life that I knew I needed to invest in myself. And when you have, when you're underpinned by fear and you don't think you're worthy, you will find it difficult to invest in yourself. That's how you'll know you've still got a heart wound and you're still suffering with so low self-esteem. You are unable to invest in your success, or in you being able to arise. You won't get a personal trainer. You won't buy good food. You'll buy all the processed food, all the crap food. You won't go get a massage. You won't do self-care. Because you just don't want to invest in yourself. So I actually get that sense that some of you listening to this right now, I can feel it. I know, I am like detecting that some of you are that's me. I resist spending money on myself. I resist going and doing, giving myself some self-care. Well, I need to tell you, there's a heart wound. There is something going on with your heart, that you've got a heart wound, and that needs to be healed for you to rise. Because if you're resisting spending money on yourself for self-care, then I need to tell you, you are worthy, and you need to get healed so you can get set free and you can get whole, so you can invest in yourself and you can get the life that you want. You can be or do anything you want. The only limitations is what you put on yourself. And in order to grow, you need to invest in yourself. So I might have convicted some of you to yes, that's me. If you have said yes, that's me. I'm not investing in myself. I'm not investing in my self-care. Well, I need to tell you, you need to come and do my Fear to Freedom course. Okay. Now, am I doing this to try and get the money? No, I'm not. I am trying to help you break out of whatever's going on with you, because you want breakthrough, but sometimes in order to get breakthrough, you have to invest. You have to put some money down somewhere. So if that's you, I want to encourage you to go to my Facebook, Dawn Osborne, go to my page. You'll find Fear to Freedom. Okay, it's the emotional healing workshop. Okay, it's up there. Go find it and go do that, because I can guarantee you will get some sort of breakthrough in the area of healing a heart wound from the past. Now, you need to before you do anything, if you're an entrepreneur or anything, you need to just check that your heart is healed and the heart is whole, so you can function at the highest capacity that you've got. All right, guys, I'm going to fly. That was a big podcast. I only got 5 rules for success, or 5 rules to rise out. But don't worry, join me on the next podcast, because I'm going to give you the other 5. See ya.